I want to end by telling you one of my dreams, and it's not a dream I've told a lot of people, but I feel this is the perfect sermon to just share my dream. 5 years ago, my youngest son, Ryder, was born right smack dab in the middle of COVID, right, May of 2020. God has blessed me with 3 wonderful sons. I can't imagine my life without my boys. But I was almost 37 when Ryder was born, and Sarah was almost 38. And we're a little old to be that tired. So me and Sarah, people look at my family and they go, man, you must like kids. And I go, see, the problem is like I just really like Sarah. You know? So and Ryder was born, and Sarah and I made the decision that we were done making babies. And it was we're done producing offspring. It was a hard decision, but we made that decision together. But months before we made this decision, I had a dream one night. And in my dream, I was in my office at our church building downtown. And if you're familiar with our church building downtown on Jinx, my office was upstairs. I had a good-sized office upstairs, and I had a little nook, just a little corner that just jutted in my office. And I was at work, and I was sitting at my computer, and I was working, and I looked over to that nook, and there was a little toddler girl. And she startled me. She was filthy. She had a dirty diaper. And I looked at her. She couldn't have been 2 years old. And I just said, sweetheart, where's your mommy? Where's your daddy? And I took her by the hand, and I walked through all the office looking for her mom and dad, and Sarah was with me, and I couldn't find them. I had some diapers with me, and I laid her down, and I began to change her diaper, and I looked at Sarah, and I said, I think we're going to raise this little girl. And I woke up. And so I can still remember that dream pretty vividly. And I hadn't thought about it in months. It didn't strike me as anything profound. It didn't strike me as something that it meant anything. And here we are months later, Sarah and I are struggling with the finality of not growing our family anymore. And Tony ends up being around me and Sarah. And so to try to encourage my sad wife, I just tell her about this dream I had. And I said, look, maybe God will allow us to adopt one day. I don't know. And I tell this story. I didn't think the dream meant anything. I'm trying to encourage my wife. And Tony looks at us and he speaks up, and it felt prophetic what he said to us. He goes, that's not what the dream means. He said, that little girl is Elevation Life Church. And he says, you guys did not give birth to her. You didn't. You inherited her when she was a toddler. And she was dirty. She went through a lot, and she would still go through a lot. And you're going to clean her up, and you're going to raise her. And I'm telling you, it's like the second he said it, I knew that it was right, that it was true. And it didn't help my distraught wife any. But it was true. That was exactly what the dream meant. And I have been called to be this church's adoptive father. And I didn't give birth to this vision. My dad did. And I have worked hard these past 5 years to clean her up, to instruct her in the right ways. And I feel we are beginning to move out of our toddler phase and into adolescence. Now listen, all fathers are imperfect, but I still feel that this is a dream that is still being fulfilled.